isn't enough to save the world.
None of us wanted this.
You're either with me or against me.
When you were in love, you left him in tears to smother your furies and banish your fears. But in darkness they came, through stormy black seas they raided these shores. Do you still hear his screams?
Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about.
No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great.
Welcome to the Bloody First. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
A brotherhood born in the shadows.
If the Red Legion want war,
Give them war. Humanity never deserved power. I am gone, and I alone am worthy.
No one can make Souls games quite like From Software, except Team Ninja. Nioh took many years and console generations to be made, and its final product is absolutely incredible. It's considerably faster than any Souls game, and features a combat system more akin to Devil May Cry than Bloodborne. Nioh is insanely difficult too. Instead of a natural progression of skill, Nioh presents intense obstacle after intense obstacle, forcing the player to improve a lot with each level. It's not natural skill progression, it's forced skill progression. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's some of the most fun I've had all year. Linear, narrative-driven shooters were a staple of the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Singularity, Spec Ops The Line, Bulletstorm, etc. Wolfenstein 2 is the perfect continuation and advancement of what once was an oversaturated market in a post-Doom 2016 world. Wolfenstein 2 has the impactful gunplay and executions from Doom, but with some truly impressive storytelling. Machine Games knows how to create story scenarios that add variety to gameplay, no matter how over the top it may be. A lot of linear shooters suffer when certain scenarios like tank missions or on-rail segments rear their heads, but not Wolfenstein 2. With this game, Machine Games has proven themselves to be among shooter royalty. Yakuza is a sneaky franchise, not just because it tends to fly under the radar as something niche, but because its brilliant narratives are often snuck underneath its goofy exterior. Yakuza is goofy. Any game in which the player can breakdance fight armed goons and assault drunk people with salt shakers is inherently goofy. It can be frustrating to have to sit through Metal Gear length cutscenes, but each one contains some real treats. Majima's absolutely brilliant entrance, Kiryu's back and forth with the Dojima family captains. This game is a real diamond in the rough. Yakuza 0 is deep too. Real estate meta games, playable Sega Genesis games in the arcade, giant skill trees, and more make Yakuza 0 as meaty as it is impactful. Naughty Dog is in a weird position, not that they're in trouble or anything, but they're so incredibly talented, each of their games is pretty much in a league of its own. The Lost Legacy is no different. Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises, period. The Lost Legacy was a known quantity since its announcement. It's a game that surprised me very little because I already knew it'd be fantastic. Regardless, a fantastic game is a fantastic game. It may be a continuation of the foundation Uncharted 4 created, but it's still an Uncharted game. Chloe and Nadine are a great action duo, and Chapter 4 presents some great new ideas that I hope are implemented in the future. It hurts me that this isn't in my top 5, but that just goes to show what a great year 2017 has been for gaming.
You know nothing about me.
Now the casualty of war.
I was a doubter. I didn't want an online competition-focused Gran Turismo. I wanted a classic, traditional Gran Turismo. I was so wrong. Gran Turismo Sport is like the Street Fighter V of racing game. At least it was upon its launch. Bare bones, but really hardcore. They've since added a traditional career mode, but I was already in love before that. Gran Turismo Sport is the Gran Turismo game I never knew I wanted. My driving skills have increased immensely over the course of my experience with this game, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I'm also a sucker for photo modes in games, and GT Sports is easily the prettiest ever made. Sometimes a game just clicks. GT Sport did for me, and I hope more people give it a shot now that Polyphony has been really supporting it. One night, I had a nightmare in which an atomic bomb decimated a nearby town, and its shockwave woke me up. The raw existential dread I felt upon waking up is something I've always wanted something to replicate, video game, movie, or otherwise. I already knew that Nier Automata was loved by fans, but I could never really pinpoint why even when I was playing it. It was great, sure, but I just didn't get it. It's not until its second half when I truly understood just what the hype was all about. Finally! I experienced a narrative that gave me some of the same feelings and emotions I felt that one night. Not only does Nier Automata have my favorite story of 2017, it may very well have my favorite story of all time. Believe the hype.
Perhaps we're not so different after all. Pod 153, I order you to halt all logical thought and speech.
Fear not, A2. I can handle this! Androids were designed to protect their human masters.
Even if it's pointless, you still have to do it!
Gaming is escapist by nature. To whisk someone away to a digital land where they can forget about themselves for an hour or two is no easy task. It doesn't take long for Super Mario Odyssey to make someone smile. Super Mario Odyssey almost feels as if every single creative decision was made to make the player smile, from its heartwarming music to its distinct and vibrant worlds. Not only is Odyssey's tone and world smile-producing, but figuring out the unique purposes of each possessed creature and object in each kingdom is bound to trigger some dopamine sensors. Everything in Odyssey demands experimentation and exploration, and each moon-condensed kingdom has been perfectly designed to facilitate any playstyle. It's a game that just lets the player play and have a wonderful time doing so.
With me, grab coins with me, oh yeah!
Horizon Zero Dawn might be the most important exclusive Sony has published for the PS4. Before Horizon, the PS4 had an identity problem. Almost every game, exclusive or otherwise, was a continuation of an established franchise. Horizon Zero Dawn was instantly iconic. Aloy's distinctive red hair in the post-apocalyptic world run by machines sold audiences the second it was revealed. Thankfully, the game backed that hype up. Guerrilla's weighty gunplay experience from Killzone shone brightly in Horizon, making each Stalker or Thunderjaw encounter meaningful and hard-fought. 2017 was ripe with games that warranted exploration, and Horizon's rich and detailed world is no slouch. A lot of new IPs might establish concepts, but sometimes fail to expand on them, but Horizon constantly finds new ways to surprise the player, either narratively or gameplay-wise. From start to finish, Horizon Zero Dawn is undoubtedly something everyone needs to experience.
Praying won't save us. We have to find the killers.
So you will have to leave the sacred land.
Where the trail leads, I will go.
Open world games are to this console generation as linear shooters were to last generation. There's just too many of them. So many, in fact, that it's easy to get fatigued. Even Assassin's Creed realized this and took a year off. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has changed the open world game. Open world developers across the world now resent this game's existence because it is now the standard by which every single other open world game will be judged by. That's not hyperbole. Breath of the Wild is the standard now. Its open-ended design is something every dev should take note of, even if its narrative suffered for it. Every fight, every encounter, and every moment of this game has impact because accomplishing things is only possible due to player action, all the way to Ganon. Each weapon, shield, and bow accumulated by the player make this game truly feel like a player-driven adventure, and its world is perfectly designed for enticing exploration. From a gameplay perspective, Breath of the Wild might just be the most important game of this generation. Makoto. No, but seriously though. It'd be easy to be conflicted for choosing favorites this year, but for me it was obvious from the day I started playing Persona 5. There was nothing that could top it. Its style, its presentation, its characters, its JRPG combat, it's everything. Just as Breath of the Wild revolutionized open world games, I like to think Persona 5 has somewhat revolutionized JRPGs. Its turn-based combat is both thoughtful and fast-paced, making each random encounter a dance of magic and gunshots, all to the beat of some of the best music I've heard in my life. Put Persona 5's soundtrack on shuffle, no matter what, there's something anyone can vibe to, and the same can be said about this game's characters. Every character is impactful in their own way, and the player's investment into each confidant is meaningful in both story and gameplay. Persona 5 is stylish, it's fun, it's emotional, it's impactful, and it's my game of the year.
The shadows are ready to kill. Be careful, Joker.